right, here we come again. Thank you again for joining us. In this video, I am going to share with you and explain to you why I believe beyond a shadow of doubt that your greatest power and my greatest power is our God-given powers of initiative and selection. Now, what do I base that on? One of the things I shared with you during the last session is that you and I have a God-given powers of initiative and selection to choose what we're going to believe, to choose what we're going to think, to choose what we're going to do. And what I want to share with you today is the reason why your greatest power is your God-given powers of initiative and selection. According to George Thomas Troward, in his book, The Creative Process in the Individual, he goes on to talk about the creation of the universe. And the primary purpose of that book is to figure out what the creative process is all about. How do we get things done? We talked about the fact during the last session that power is defined as the ability to make things, change things, and rearrange things. And that's one of the things the book talks about. But one of the things that astronomers and scientists discovered when they were trying to find out the cause of the universe was that they discovered that the primary substance of the cosmos, of the universe, is called the ether. And the ether is universally distributed across all space. Universally distributed. In other words, as I reach out my hand right now, it appears as if I'm reaching into open space. But don't be deceived. Judge not according to appearances. This is not open space. What you call open space is charged with power, with energy, with life, with aliveness. It's charged with the ether. But what the scientists also discovered was that there was certain cosmic activity in certain areas, and there were other areas that had no activity. So that kind of puzzled them. And they basically arrived at the conclusion that there must be something responsible for cosmic activity in certain areas and no activities in other areas. So at first, they thought, well, maybe there was something within the ether that was responsible for that. But that became mathematically improbable, because in a medium that is equally distributed and evenly distributed with the ether, there will be no possibility for any such originating motion. So, what they finally decided, the conclusion they arrived at was there had to be something responsible for the cosmic activity and motion in certain areas to the exclusion of the other areas. And their final conclusion was this something is what they call the originating spirit. What you and I in the Western world will call God. So originating spirit is the one responsible for the originating motion in the cosmos, in the universe, before anything or man was ever created. So they attributed to originating spirit the powers of selection and initiative, because it was originating spirit that decided, that selected where certain activities were going to take place and then initiated the motion. Now that is crucial. The reason why that's crucial is this. If you've done any study on religion or personal development, on spirituality, you know, we hear everybody tell us that we are created in the image and likeness of God. Everything spirit, that we are spirit, first of all. Everything spirit has, we have. Everything spirit can do, we can do. Well, if one of the qualities or powers of originating spirit are the powers of initiative and selection, well, that tells me that that's a power we possess, because everything spirit possesses, we possess. And then if you now go to the first chapter of the book of Genesis, in Genesis chapter 1 verse 26, we are told that God created man in his image and likeness, and he gave us dominion to rule over all of creation. Well, what is that except for the powers of initiative and selection? You know, I'm going to wrap this session up right here for now. But in the next session, I'm going to share with you 3 specific areas you can begin to start applying your God-given powers of initiative and selection so that you can start rearranging your life the way you want. And in the meantime, remember that you have the God-given powers of initiative and selection, and use them wisely and judiciously. I'll talk to you soon.